Good evening.
Good evening. My name is Chad Bishop. I live at 7405 South Valencia Drive here in Sioux Falls. This morning, the South Dakota House Health and Human Services Committee heard testimony from the Department of Health. In responding to questions, the state epidemiologist, Dr. Clayton, informed the legislators that the number of reinfection cases has risen to 4,000. Dr. Clayton also reported that 18 of those individuals sadly died after reinfection. The doctor did not speak to the demographics of either the reinfected or the deceased. The Department of Health COVID-19 dashboard this evening reports 174,029 recovered cases. That would mean the updated reinfection rate for the state of South Dakota is approximately 2.3% over the 22 months since the first case in our state. It would mean that the mortality rate among the reinfected is approximately 0.01%. Across all demographics in our state over that same period of time. A week ago, Governor Nome, during her State of the State address, said the following. First, for over a year, we have offered free at-home COVID tests to the people of South Dakota. Last week, I announced that I had ordered 1 million new tests to be delivered to even more locations in our state. Every citizen in South Dakota will have the access to get a free COVID test in their home community. President Biden had promised this action, but has failed to do so. The state will continue to work to take care of our people. I'd like to clarify that these tests help to diagnose a current infection, but not a past infection. Later, Governor Nome went on to say, financially, we see the impact of protecting liberty in South Dakota, but unfortunately, personal liberties are under attack. But that attack is not coming from the state government, it's coming from the Biden administration in Washington, D.C. I always promised you I would protect our state from overbearing federal intrusion into our daily lives, so we took action. South Dakota has joined 4 lawsuits against the Biden administration's unconstitutional vaccine mandates, and we're winning in court. The issue has advanced to the United States Supreme Court, and oral arguments were heard last week. The COVID vaccination should be a choice, and we should reject the efforts that we're seeing in other parts of the country to divide us into 2 classes, the vaccinated and the unvaccinated. Unvaccinated Americans are still Americans. We live in a free country, free to make our own decisions. The government does not get to make them for us. I am bringing legislation this session to protect the people's right to medical and religious exemption from COVID vaccines, just as my executive order did for our state employees. We will also recognize natural immunity. I hope you support this bill. So I am encouraged by these statements. However, in order to recognize natural immunity, we're going to have to define it and the methods of determining it. In order for this to be useful to our residents, we're going to have to fund the deployment of those methods, likely SARS-CoV-2 antibody and adaptive T-cell response testing, to enact this legislation. I encourage you to engage and support these efforts for all the reasons I have stated over the last several weeks. There's now over $974.5 million for COVID-19 relief in the state treasury. In an attempt to use science to resolve these artificially divisive and political issues, rebuild trust with the skeptical public, and bring clarity to policymaking at all levels within the state, including this body, I'm asking you to support
Thanks,
these
Chad.
bills and provisions. Thank you.
Anyone else for public input tonight?